All right, 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 all right. What is good? What is good? What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, you know who I is, the good doc, Dr. Mike, back again, once again, with another classic live stream for you guys today. Sincerely hope that everybody is blessed. Sincerely hope that I'm coming through loud and clear. Please let me know if I am coming through loud and clear, because my microphone is over there, and I'm not trying to yell. I just want to make sure that I'm able to hear and deal with everybody significantly. Give me a second, guys. I'm setting up the chat. Official time check. We're looking at 8:33 in the p.m. Philippine Standard Time. 8:33 in the a.m. Sorry, Philippine Standard Time. 8:33 in the p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7:33 in the p.m. Central, and of course 5:33 for everybody repping that West Coast. All right. Sincerely hope everybody is blessed. Sincerely hope everybody's having a great day. Doc's feeling a little scandalous today. So I'm here to answer any and all questions that may be so far left field that you'd be like, where the hell did this question come from? I will answer all questions tonight. So if you guys want to get your questions answered, by all means, please feel free to hit the good doc up. Um, Also, go ahead and get the likes up on your way in. It's been a while since I've been live streaming. I think I ain't been on in about a week now, so I'm feeling a little rusty. So I got to make sure I get this right. So when you first come in, make sure you caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, it most definitely has to have it. So please feel free to lock that down for the good doc. Anybody looking to support the camera fund for the Philippines upcoming trip, by all means, please make sure you look out for the good doc. You can do that through a super chat, of course. If you guys want to support through PayPal, Cash App, whatever it may be, that is all listed in the link in the description area below. If you guys want to get your very own copy of the BOOTYLOO Chronicles, the best book of all times, the best ebook ever written, ever, by all means, that link is listed in the link in the description area below, along with the Mikethepiguide's quick guide for first timers to the Philippines, along with why I inspire black men to travel more, encourage black men to travel more, why all men should travel more, and of course the prescription for guys looking or interested in dating Filipino women. That book is also available as well in the link in the description area below. Again, guys, I'm here to answer any question that you're gonna ask me. All right. So let's go ahead and get a little bit scandalous tonight. Let me know what's good, because Doc is in the mood for some serious shit. I'm in the mood for some serious talk. So let's have a good conversation tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we got about 8 watching. Let's go ahead and get these questions coming through. Maybe I could talk about a topic that you guys feel is intriguing or of any interest to you. Feeling free, let it be known. Doc's gonna do what he needs to do to bring this show along. All right. So I'm here to do what you guys. I'm here to do what I do best, but I'm here to answer questions. I see my man Casey, Jeffrey G, and of course my boy Derek Floyd. Always a pleasure to have my people in the building, man. It is definitely good to be back. I felt like I've been away for a long time, but it's always good to be back when the good doc is back. All right. So today's been a good day. Can't really complain. Nothing really much going on right now, but shout out to my boy Reginald Graham. What's good with you, man? Um, Let me see. There was something that I wanted to talk about, but I'm gonna give you guys the chance to ask me questions first before we jump into anything that I have going on in my life. Sorry. Or anything that I've heard recently that was scandalous. All right. I do have a question though, guys. Since I'm thinking about questions, my boy Maurice Brown, what's going on? Yeah, Jeffrey G, nothing sexual, man. I kind of keep it PG, man. I'm trying to straighten out my channel. Maybe YouTube will push my content. Doubt it. But anyways, I want to know, are we too judgmental towards Filipinas? And are Filipinas too judgmental of foreigners? I mean, let's think about that for a second. Do you guys believe that we are too judgmental towards Filipinas? And are Filipinas too judgmental towards foreigners? As in, do we always come to the Philippines with a preconceived notion about Filipinas? Let's talk about that, because you have two ways of thinking about Filipinas. Number one, scammers, gold diggers. Number two, most loving, caring, whatever kind of women you can often come across. But all of our views, per se, about Filipinas are shaped based upon YouTube channels like myself or YouTube channels put up by guys who have been screwed over by Filipinas. So do you think that us as gentlemen or foreigners coming to the country, do you believe that we are too judgmental towards or about Filipino women based off of what we've heard about them? If we've never been to the Philippines, of course. If you've based your judgment on Filipino women based off of a YouTube channel, based off of the fact that, oh, you should marry you a Filipina, Filipinas are this, Filipinas are that. Then you got other guys saying, man, just fuck these girls and leave them. You know, what is it that has shaped our thought process about where we stand in reference to how we judge Filipinas? On the flip side, Filipinas who date foreigners, probably they've all got preconceived notions about foreigners coming into the country. All they want to do is just have sex with us, and all they want to do is just use us Filipinas, and we're not going to have it. You know, you have people who have said shit like that. Some Filipinas are actually honest. They will tell you to your face, I've heard this about foreigners, and this is why I don't like foreigners. They've never even dated a foreigner themselves. They've never done anything like that. They just basically have shaped their perception based off of what other people have told them. No different than a foreigner such as myself trying to school you on the game here in the Philippines. You have Filipinas trying to school other Filipinos on the game in reference to dealing with foreigners. So when does it get to the point where we have become so judgmental or too judgmental towards each other that we can't even find common ground anymore? Where are we coming through loud and clear? Can somebody hear me? Y'all can't hear me? Hey, Dave, you might want to change up your shit, bro. You might, because everybody else can hear me, man. My man Jeffrey G says, not gold diggers, but I think caring girls who would love to be taken care of. Okay. Dave, you might want to see what's up with your connection, bro, because everybody else has got me. But I'm just saying, though, when has it gotten to the point where we have become judgmental per se, or we've had preconceived notions about, or our perception has been shaped based off of what we've heard from other people? You know, when has that become the thing now? Instead of coming over here and experiencing it ourselves, live vicariously through others. We've talked about that before. You live vicariously through somebody else and you see how they treat Filipinas or what they say about Filipinas, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck it, man. These women sound bad. I don't want them. Or, oh my God, these women sound fucking awesome. I've got to get me a Filipina. You understand? I try my best. I truly do. I try my best. I know I'm biased to an extent, but I try my best not to go too far left or too far right. I try to keep it as neutral as humanly possible. I do recognize that there are beautiful traits in Filipino women that all you guys should look for in a Filipina, but I understand that there are some negative aspects in when dealing with Filipinas that you have to actually take into consideration. You know, and it sucks because when I've come across recent channels, it seems to be biased towards one way or the other. There's never really an in-between. It's either you are 100% with them, like, look, man, this is where you need to be at. This is where I feel you'll find your best mate or whatever. Or you'll say, man, look, you can only come over here, get yourself laid, be done with it, run away, move away, do something else. But this is where it is because of that. So it's not necessarily the fact that they're telling you not to come to the Philippines. They're just basically telling you to come to the Philippines for two different reasons. One aspect is just come through and get as many girls as you can. The other aspect, find you somebody nice, somebody you can fuck with. You know, is that right? Since I said, what's good with you, man? Long time no see, man. What's good? Appreciate you coming through. My man Reginald got me. He says, I think Filipinas get a bad rap. And what I mean is that all are looking to get what they can get out of you, just married to get to the US. Exactly. You know, you hear this shit and you hear it. Now all of a sudden it's like, that's the narrative. You know, it's the fucking new narrative. Like, how in the world has it become to the point where, nah, you shouldn't worry about that. Filipinas ain't worth being with. And They just want to use you for this, that, and the other. But then you have a whole fucking other perspective of individuals that'll be like, nah, that ain't what it is. I've been with my Filipina to the United States. We live a happy life here, etc., etc. Then you have those that are the exception to the rule. So how do you determine which is which? I think it truly is based off of the women you choose to be with, the women that you actually choose to, try to spend the rest of your life with. And it's funny because I can almost guarantee to the T that there was no way in this world that a man came through with that thought process about Filipinas in the beginning. That was probably shaped through a fucked up relationship. Probably just one. Just fucking one. They had a bad fucking relationship. Everything went awry. Now all of a sudden it's like, man, fuck these girls. I can't do anything with them. They don't want me. I don't want them, so fuck them. I'm gonna make a YouTube channel and bashing them. I'm gonna do all this shit and all that extra shit. You know how they do. You've seen the channels, guys. I'm not new to the game. Shout out to Rain Man. What's good with you? NY Mets fan, I see you. He says, Michael V says, if we were a Filipino, would we not want to marry a foreigner and move to the West? Probably so. That's probably the thing to do. Unfortunately, you would want to get yourself in a better situation and a better opportunity. I guess if we were the Filipinas, in this particular aspect, I would at least want to do it for the right reasons, I would at least fucking love who I'm with, because how in the fuck can I personally be miserable with somebody for an extended period of time just so that I can achieve something? That takes a lot of determination, if you ask me. How in the fuck can you be miserable with a person for a significant period of time just to accomplish the goal of getting to the Philippines? Or, I'm sorry, getting to the United States or getting to the West? Do you have it in you personally to do whatever it takes for you to get to the United States? Even if that means putting up with the man bullshit, even if that means putting up with everything that is bad about this person, just to get to the United States. Does that make sense? Does that seem like a plausible scenario? I don't think so, man. I think there's too much work. Oahu dude, what's going on, man? Derek says, ex-service people in my family say it's a bad place and a lot of crime, but being here, I see no physical crime, but double billing. At the end of the day, mostly the only crimes foreigners will be having, most of the crimes that foreigners have to deal with is being cheated out of money. It's very rare that you hear about foreigners and kidnappings and stuff like that. That stuff comes in those foreign islands. You don't hear about that shit in Manila. You don't hear about that shit in other areas like that. You don't hear about people coming across issues like this commonly in well-traveled areas. If you're the motherfucker who has the balls to hang out in those provincial areas that you may or may not be familiar with, then you're putting your own life at risk. You got to understand, you're living in this provincial area because you choose to be here. And what could happen may happen. You just never know. All right, let's be real. What could happen may happen. You have to be able to accept that as fact. But yeah, double billing and getting cheated out of money is probably the most common thing foreigners get caught up with, for sure. My man Channel 19, what's going on? And of course, my man Steve, long time no see, bro. I hope everything is well. Oahu says, finally got a date here. She stayed with me for 2 days and it was exhausting. Language barrier is too huge. Philippines is still the best for a dating man. At least you had a chance to experience it. Cambodia doesn't seem like a bad place. Vietnam doesn't seem like a bad place, but I do believe that as far as Southeast Asian countries, Philippines will be the best place for at least people who speak English. And the only reason that I say that is because I realize why Filipinos are taught to speak English, because you do realize that one of the biggest exports from the Philippines is their people. So when you're sending people in OFWs to other countries and shit like that, and people are looking to hire OFWs, what tends to happen is what? You got to speak English, man, because English is technically the universal language. It's not spoken in all countries, but for the most part, it's the majority common language in most areas. So they need to learn that at the very least when they're traveling abroad. But yeah, I can agree, man. I'm pretty sure it probably is exhausting as hell. My man Casey says, I think that certain YouTubers give Americans a bad name by doing shady shit like womanizing Filipinas. So in that aspect, you catch a bunch of Filipinos who feel everyone is going to act like those. Again, somebody asked me a question the other day, and they wanted me to do a video on this, but we could talk about it now. They were asking me about how Filipinos judge foreigners based off of videos that they've seen on YouTube. Do you believe that's true, that foreigners are judged based off of YouTube videos? Now, like you said, one person did a video about how they just can't stand Filipinos, or how they feel like you could only just run through them and they're only good for that. And they watch those videos and they're like, oh my God, this foreigner is just, using and abusing whatever he has as his advantage. And then what? What does that mean for us? I don't know, man. Do you believe that we are often judged by our YouTube channels? I think I'm judged based off of certain things that I've said on my YouTube channel. That's highly accurate. I believe that I am judged based off of certain things that I have said in a YouTube channel or a YouTube video, not the channel in its entirety. I've heard girls fucking focus on one thing that I've said in a live stream and fucking take that to the grave. I've heard people focus on one soundbite, just run with it for sure. All right, my man, Channel 19, you got a question, man? Let's get it, man. Tell me what you got to ask. My man Casey says, who do the craziest stuff they see on YouTube? I don't. I truly don't care enough. I try not to do what I see other people doing. That shit just becomes too much of a fucking headache. My man Maurice Brown, what's good with you? Says, you just hit the nail on the head. Sci-Fi George, what's going on, man? Corey, I see you in the building, man. What's good with you guys, man? Guys, make sure you guys get the like up for the good doc. Doc would appreciate you guys getting the likes up. Make sure you caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, it most definitely has to have it. And I promise you it will not press charges. I promise. I see we got 25 watching. I appreciate all 25 of you guys coming through and showing love to the good doc. If you guys want to support the channel, you already know how to do so. But of course, the good doc is happy that you come through, spend just a little bit of your time with him today. Now and then. Now let's go ahead and get back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right. Did I get my boy Corey? Yeah, Corey McDuffie. What's going on, bro? Wahudu says, you will always have haters whenever you make a generalized statement like all Filipinos are, no matter how true. Yes, that is super general. That's why I try to never say anything like that. I try to never say all are this or all are that. That just seems, it is inaccurate. It's not that it seems inaccurate. That is just an inaccurate statement. Because like you said, I try not to do that, but there are a chosen few that really go hard for that shit. They just love to generalize because they've had a few bad relationships with women that they know were bad. So now all of a sudden, it's all of their faults. Not just that girl's fault, not just the other girl's fault, but all of their faults. So kind of becomes a fucking, it makes life difficult, all right? Shout out to the homie Eddie Jackson. He says, I want to know how we can stay in the Philippines 6 months at a time. That is based on what you do as far as the income you bring in, man. That's how you stay in the Philippines for 6 months at a time. It depends on what you bring in as far as income. It depends on your job. If you are the type of person that has inherited some money, then good for you. Then that makes it a whole lot easier. But if damn, how can you stay in the Philippines for 6 months at a time? It does basically depend on what your job is and the money that you bring in. That's pretty much the know-all be-all. How you can stay in there for 6 months at a time, that depends. That's really it's not a hard question to answer. It just depends on how your life is set up. If you can basically gear yourself towards 6 months Philippines, 6 months United States, I think that's pretty awesome. if you could do your job while you're in the Philippines, that's even better. I know some guys who have been able to take their work with them from the United States and bring it to them to the Philippines, or from Europe and live here in the Philippines. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. So I'm not going to sit there and act like you're going to get a job automatically, or the job's going to pay you this much automatically, or that job security is going to be there. Because if the job security isn't there, that may fluctuate the money that you bring in every month. You feel me? And that's something you got to take into consideration as well. It depends on what your job is. If all it is online work, it'll work. Or you can try to do a 6-month stint volunteering somewhere. You want to stay in the Philippines long term? If you have your own money, you should volunteer somewhere. That'll get you a visa to stay in the country for extended periods of time. But you're not going to earn any money, so you got to take that all into consideration as well. Rayman says, with school on summer break, are you still working? Maybe summer school? Me? Like I said, I do my work online, man. You're right, summer school. I do my work online. So I tutor still. That shit's always. As long as there's a summer class to be had, Doc's doing it. So yeah, I still work. But luckily, I can still go to the Philippines and still do this shit from my laptop right here. So man, Sentai7 says, it is their decision. You put out money, it's you that is responsible. Exactly. I feel like whatever you pay for, that's what you get what you pay for. You feel me? It makes life a little bit more difficult, but at the end of the day, this is something that needs to be done and the thing that needs to be said, because it sucks to hear the negative aspect of everything coming from the foreigner side. All you hear is all of this negative shit, man. It kind of becomes redundant and repetitive, to be honest with you. But then again, so does the ideology that all foreigners are goddesses and submissive and all that shit. That shit gets played too. Probably played more than the hatred that some guys have for Filipinos. To be honest, it might be a little bit more sad from that particular aspect. My man Channel 19 says, why are Filipinos such experts with cameras? Because what they look like on the pictures is not what they look like in real life. The angles, man, the filters, bro. If there's one thing I know Filipinos know how to do is take pictures. And you want to know the truth, they'll take 100 pictures before they get that right one. I promise you. They'll figure out their angle, they'll figure out their filter, and be done with it. That's it. I suck at taking pictures. What you see is what you get. I'm serious. I mean, I might take 1 or 2 before my ass gets tired of taking pictures and just say, here, man, this is the one I'm going to use for a profile picture or some shit. At the end of the day, Filipinos, if they have nothing but time on their hands, they're going to learn how to school themselves on picture taking and all of that good stuff. I mean, it's a rough go, man. No cap. It does suck that these women are able to do so. And then when you see them in person, you kind of realize that they were not what they look like in their pictures, which is why you should never judge a person based on a picture. I will say that. Never judge a person based on their pictures. Thinking that Filipina is fucking made to the T and the whole 9, and then you see her in person and she's all fucking pimple-faced and shit. I mean, so not to turn you off, but at the end of the day, let me ask you this. At the end of the day, if you come to find out that a girl was not what she looked like in her pictures, would you be willing to basically say, fuck this, I'm not going to deal with you? Or would you just go ahead and try to make it happen? That's the question. Would you just go ahead and make it happen? That's what I ask people quite often. I'm like, look, if you were meeting a Filipina and she didn't turn out to be like her pictures, but you kind of already agreed to go from point A to point B, would you go ahead and just go ahead and do it since you've already agreed to it? Or would you probably say, nah, that just ain't gonna happen. We got to keep it moving. Hey, JD, what's going on, man? Good to see you made it back to the Philippines, bro. Good to see you made it back, man. My man Rayman says, cameras with filters are a bane to society. Bro, you ain't never lie. Rayman says filters on these cameras can be doing bait and switch scams on us guys. True. Them filters fuck our lives up. Shout out to the man Jason Harris. He says, what city do you suggest for a first visit? Finally had my trip set for August and no idea where to go first. Well, there's a high percentage chance that you're going to land in Manila. So I would recommend you stay in Manila. And the only reason I recommend you stay in Manila is because there's a lot to do in Manila. All right. It provides you that good city life. And until you can find yourself in a comfortable city, a place where you feel comfort. Because I don't recommend foreigners just traveling outside without somebody that they know or traveling anywhere by themselves in the beginning until you realize like, okay, this place is a safe place. I feel like I can live a pretty good life here. I don't feel like I need to be on my P's and Q's all the time like somebody gonna try to jack me from behind or some shit. Until you get that far, I would say stay in the city. I like Manila and Cebu for that particular purpose only. I would not recommend provincial areas just yet until you figure out the lay of the land. That's the best thing for me to say. You got to figure out the lay of the land. So Manila, possibly Cebu, heavily populated areas. And I know I don't really say that often, but it just keeps things into a perspective. Like, let me go to the city areas, get my feel for it. Once I've got my feel for it, then I'll probably shift into a less populated or less congested area. You know, if you know a young lady from a particular province or a particular area that is less crowded and you trust her, that's a big if. If you trust her, then you can shift out into those provincial areas after that. Steve, you said what's the percentage of, what's that one? I missed that. Rayman says, I will be heading back to the motherland on July 1st, 8 days and counting, man. I hope to see you guys here, man. If we're around, I would love to see you guys here. Ren, yes, you are often judged on the things that you say and do. You say you're judged from what I say, and now I'm a pirate of Lapu Lapu. He said I'm a rum-drinking, rum-drunk person. Well, Ren, I don't know. People are going to pass judgment however they deem fit. You know how the game goes. That's the rough part about having a YouTube channel. People are going to pass judgment on you regardless. I mean, you can't really fight that battle. You kind of have to just deal with it. It sucks that you have to just deal with it, but it's like you got to take the good with the bad, I guess. All right. Even me, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I do not have it as worse as other people. Okay. People who shade me and all of that shit, it's nowhere near as bad as probably some of the other people that you see on YouTube. But everybody who has a YouTube channel gets it every now and again. And I kind of feel like it's a rite of passage. People who fucking hate on you means that you might have actually made it to the point where people actually give a damn to talk shit about you. So, Rain Man, you can't tell people to start in Angeles City. But yes, if they do start there, you will have a skewed view of Filipino women for a long time. Need to visit a normal city where the most are conservative and not barbaric. I like that idea. My man Swift says, why don't they promote darker skinned Filipino women? I don't know, man. I don't know why they don't promote darker skinned Filipinas, man. I personally believe that they are just as beautiful as the lighter skinned ones. We all know the game. If you've been here, you know. But, you know, skin whitening and the whole nine, we talked about it. It's been the same way forever. My man Casey says, I think people judge your channel because they come in the middle of a conversation or a story of some type of way, but those people need to actually watch them from content you're putting out. Some people don't care. They'll just jump the gun on the first thing they hear. They take that soundbite, and Doc's already the most evilest person in the world. He needs to be persona non grata, the whole nine. You know how they do. They're like, we're going to get you kicked out of my country. I said, bitch, I wasn't even in your country at the time that I made this video. And then when I make the video in the country, I stopped playing. I stopped playing that game with most you can't paint with a huge paintbrush by painting a picture. That's true. Kim John, what's going on? He says, do Filipinos feel like slutty if you invite them over to your apartment or condo? Wow. Wow. That is a fantastic question. That is probably the question of the year. Do Filipinos feel a certain kind of way if you invite them back to your place? I guess it depends on how you invite them. I'm gonna be honest with you. It depends on how you invite them. If you say, let's go back to the place, have a couple of drinks or something, we could watch some, Netflix and chill. Maybe they know what that means, maybe they don't. That is probably a nice, friendly way to invite them back, but don't sit there and guarantee that you're going to get you something. I mean, it increases your chances when you get them alone, but let's not guarantee that that's actually going to happen. It depends on how you invite them back or how you invite them, because most will tell you no. It depends on how quick it depends on how quick you ask too. If you ask them that question like in the first day or the first 2 days or whatever it may be, and they're not comfortable meeting you or they're not comfortable at all, they'll just say no. So here's what I do recommend, just a quick tidbit of information. First things first, let's say you meet a girl online. I'm just going to throw this scenario out there so that you guys get an idea. You meet her online, you think she's cute, you talk to her for a little bit. Meet her first. Okay, go out, see her somewhere. I'm not talking about the mall or anything, but just go out and meet her. Say hi to her, have a quick conversation with her. Okay, see if you like her first before she knows where you stay at or anything. See if you like her, see if you want to invite her back. So maybe you grab a bite to eat. Understand, you're probably going to take an L on this if she chooses to say no to coming back to your place. But at the end of the day, what did you lose? 100 pesos on a meal at McDo or Jollibee or some shit. So it's basically what I call the cost of doing business. Okay. So you meet her out, have a conversation with her, see if it's something that is a positive. You feel her energy. If her energy is bouncing well off of yours, say, look, I want to get something to drink. Maybe we can hang out at the condo or something like that. I got a nice view or I got something nice. Whatever you want to say. All right. Say something nice and positive, but don't just say, look, I want to do this. Let it be done, But some of them do feel a certain kind of way, and those that feel a certain kind of way will let you know, like, oh, what do you think of me? How do you think I'm like this? Oh, how dare you? Shit like that. You're going to have those problems. But that is the question of the year, man. That is definitely a great question. My man Eddie Jackson says, money isn't an issue. He said, I was asking, do they have a 6-month visa? You can only get there you go. I'm sorry. You only get the 6-month visa after your second extension, as far as I know. You get the 30-day stamp, then you get another month stamp, and then after that month stamp, you're allowed to extend up to 6 months. Yes. Maurice Brown says, I gotta tell you, I am sprung on the Philippines. If nothing, get respect. Never so in the U.S. The PI is a poor country. Survival is paramount here, as in other countries. Hey, man, if you feel like the Philippines is for you, come here. Fuck, I feel like it's for me. That's why I've been making the trip quite often for the last couple years, man. I can't help myself. This is just a place where I feel comfortable. I grew up here. That's something to talk about. But at the end of the day, we do what we have to do for the reasons that we have to do it, man. Let's keep it real with ourselves. Let's keep it above board. We do what we have to do because it's what is needed of us, or it's what's required of us, to be able to live a decent life over here. Mm-hmm. My man Earl Owens in the building. What's going on, family? I hate filters on pictures. My man, since I think Chixie's taught you well, man, you got the filters on the pictures. Says I'm guilty of it. You need the right light, the filter, and what you need to get the best shot, man. I mean, I want the best version of myself to be seen, but at the end of the day, I don't want to create a false narrative about, damn, this dude looks like this, and then you come out looking like shit. I don't know how to feel about it. Oahudu says, don't you agree that Filipinos have a nice photogenic features do not always equate to reality when in person? Yes, Filipinos have very, 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 very photogenic qualities in Filipinos, man. And I think that this is a great way to goddamn, Steve, I see that shit. That shit just showed up on my phone, man. I don't know if you're still here, but I see you, bro. I see you. I fucking see you, man. Thank you. Derek, I see you too, man. I see you guys, man. I see you. Much love, man. Much fucking love. From the heart, man. I appreciate that shit. My man Sci-Fi George says, Dr. Mike, what would you say are the 3 biggest misconceptions about American foreigners in the Philippines? Whew. Damn, why are you making Mike think tonight? I just want to have some fun. All right. 3 most common misconceptions about American foreigners in the Philippines. Number 1, no foreigner. I'm sorry, let me not do that. Number 1, no American foreigner is looking for a significant other or partner. They are only looking to fuck as many women as they can. Okay? First common misconception. Second common misconception about American foreigners is, damn, y'all making me think hard, because that was the one that kind of encompasses all of them. But the second most common misconception about American foreigners is, damn, y'all gonna make me think, man. We're rude. They really believe that we are fucking rude. Like, based off of what they've seen with other foreigners, they think that Americans are entitled. So first, they believe that we are just here to fuck and not have a good relationship. Number 2, they feel like we are just rude. Like we are a first world, look at us from this first world country, you need to bow down to us type mentality. That's kind of how they feel about us. That's the second most common misconception. And that's almost not a misconception. If you come here with your dollars, you do feel powerful. So that type of mentality came off as a bit rude and brash. The third one is up in the air, man. You guys can come up with your own third one, but those are the first 2 that I know for a fact that people feel about foreigners. They don't really fuck with us a lot. They think that we are fucking rude. They really don't like us. I've seen so many girls talk about, oh, you foreigners are just so bastos and this, that, and the other. I'm like, you haven't even met me yet, but I know your type. That's what I don't like. Filipinas would be like, oh, you foreigners are this, that, and the other. And I'll be like, you're not talking about me because you never met me. But she says, yeah, I may not know you, but I know the type of person you are. I know your type. I've seen your type before. I've talked to your type of guy before, and I don't like that. Motherfucker, all I said was hi to you. So how do you, it just becomes a whole fucked up thing. I hope I answered the question, man. That was kind of a rough one for me off the top of my head this late in the evening. Shout out to my boy Justin Roach. What's good with you, man? Rayman says, here's a picture. Her picture looked like Janet Jackson, but in person she looked like Freddie. Freddie or Wahoo says, biggest misconception for foreigners, we love the Philippines and are not here only for the Filipinos. Not. The homeboy Earl Owen says the camera with the filters are the devil. They are. I fucking can't stand them. I can't stand them. They hurt my fucking feelings. But we do what we have to do, man. My man CJ says, how flaky are Filipinos? In reference to what? Skittish? How easy are they to move on if things go bad? You got to be a little bit more. I got to know that question. I mean, I need more details for that particular question. My man Casey says, my girl looks exactly what she looks like in the pics. No filters needed whatsoever. That's great. So does mine. Thank God that what her picture looks like is what she looks like. But let's be honest, I met her at school. So I didn't meet her through Facebook or anything. So I didn't have to judge a picture. I saw her first, and then I saw her pictures on Facebook when I added her as a friend in Facebook. And I realized that there is a coinciding whatever it may be. And it makes life easier when you can sleep next to a woman and wake up next to her and she doesn't scare the shit out of you because she look like a goddamn gremlin or some shit like that when you wake up, or half her fucking face or makeup is not fucking smeared all over your pillow in the middle of the night because she goes to sleep fully dressed because she doesn't want to see that. She doesn't want you to see the Freddy Krueger face underneath all of that makeup. So does work, man. But thank God your girl don't need filters, man. Thank God mine doesn't need them either. Actually, to be honest, she's never, as far as I know, she's never taken pictures with filters. Like, you know those girls who take the pictures with the little fucking, God dang it, what are they called, man? You know those girls who take the pictures with the little hearts and all of those camera shits with the make your face look all rosy cheek. They're filters, but they're not like normal filters. But you know, they take these cartoonish fucking pictures and shit, and they use these as their profile pictures and shit. I'd be like, how the fuck am I supposed to know what you look like underneath all of that nonsense? I don't like it, but it's just the way of the world, and this is reality. Wahoo Dude says, don't stay in Manila. You will hate it, and then you will hate the Philippines, entire Philippines trip. See, I don't believe that. Because my first experience in Manila wasn't bad at all. Yes, it's congested. Yes, this, that, and the other. But ultimately, Manila was not as bad as people say it is. Ain't all that dramatic. It's dramatic, but it ain't all that dramatic. I don't know how to put it. But yeah, man, that's kind of how I feel. I think it's all good. I don't think Manila's as bad. I think that that's just the way it's going to be. Everybody's perception of Manila is different. I'm not going to lie. Yes, the provincial areas are better. True. Very true. But we have to look at it from a broader perspective. I wouldn't tell them to go to Angeles City. I damn sure wouldn't tell them to go to any of these provincial areas first. That's what I'm saying. Just your first trip. I want you to stick to an area that is populated by a few foreigners, you know? And the reason I say that is because I want you to be around like-faced people, if that makes sense. Just your first time around. And I'm not even saying you have to stay there that whole time during the duration of your trip. I would say a couple of weeks, maybe a week or so if you got time, just to get a lay of the land and then shift your way out. That's the best way. I know that's a mouthful. Fuck it. I think you guys get me. My man Justin says, where's the best place to find the wifey type province? No doubt in my mind. If you want to find a wifey type, go to the fucking Philippine province. The conservative province. They're going to be a little hard to get with, though. They're dealing with provincial girls and city girls, two different things. But if you're looking for wifey material, most of the girls come from the province. But here's what I'm noticing, man. A lot of people have said this, and I didn't notice this until like recently when I actually started paying attention. But they were telling me that a lot of these girls from Samar, Samar, a place in the Philippines called Samar, they say that a lot of these girls that go to where Angeles City is come from Samar or Leyte or areas like that. And I didn't notice that. But for some reason, if you come across people on Facebook, right, and they'll tell you, oh, I'm from Samar, but then you look at the way that they look, and I hate to be as judgmental and opinionated as I possibly can, I'd be like, she kind of looks like a girl that you might see in the bar scene in Angeles City. I know that's fucked up, but if you get to Samar before they get to Angeles, you just might be able to find you a good one. And that makes crazy nonsense. I know it sounds fucked up, but if you get to them before they make it to the bar scenes in these well-populated areas, you just might be able to catch a good one that looks fucking fine, if that makes sense. So go to the province, man. And I'm not telling you to travel all the way to the province. Just find you a nice girl that has come from a very humbled family and humbled backgrounds. Sounds like a mouthful, I know. My man Corey says, I took Japanese path, but anyhow, I have mad respect for Filipinas. Even a super hot Filipino won't ignore you like Western girls do. She might not say much, but she's willing to give you some respect. Yes, 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 yes. A Filipina, a good one, if she's fine as hell, she will turn you down nicely. She'll be like, no, thank you. You know, I like if you ask for a number or something like that, she'll be like, no, thank you. I'm seeing somebody, but thank you. Like, you don't say thank you to me, but yet it's still, you said thank you. Like, I've never been turned down so nicely in my life. You know, that's kind of the feeling you get. You be like, man, I've never been turned down so nice in my life. And a lot of them will. They'll give you a little bit of time. They'll stop and talk to you for a brief moment. A lot of them won't ignore you. And I'm like, you know, that's respectable. You know, that's commendable as well, too. I feel where you're coming from with that. They do have some respect. Owahudu says, why don't you do a live interview with Sentai 7? I've invited Ren on my show before. I mean, he's been busy, but yes, I've invited, but that was a while ago. I invited Ren on my show. But if he's got time, man, I would love to make it happen, Captain. That would be awesome. The Observer Melanin says, yeah. I don't think it's that bad, but we'll see. I wouldn't say it's all of that, but I see where you're coming from. My man AJ, what's going on, man? He says, I'm in Cebu. I wanted to know your recommendation on how to handle dealing with a Filipino who was hanging out and never leaving my place. Switch places. AJ, you have no choice, my friend. You got to switch places. Because even if you take her out and leave her out, or you take her away from where you're staying at, she already knows how to get back to the place. So all she'll do is just knock on the door. So what I will tell you to do, what I will recommend you do, is change locations. You have no choice. Change locations. And the reason I want you to change locations is you'll never be able to get around her knowing where you stay at. All right. You got to change locations because she never wants to leave. She's comfortable with you. She's comfortable around you. Yes, you may have gotten to the point where you're like, our time is up, or, you know, you feel like there's nothing else left for you to do. But she doesn't want to go, so you're going to have to go. I know it sounds fucked up, but you're going to have to shift locations where she doesn't know where you live at. You know what? Tell her that you're leaving. That's what I would do. I would tell her, look, I'm on my way somewhere else. You know, I'm gonna go to this place, or wherever you are. You say you're in Cebu, right? You're in Cebu. Tell her you're gonna go to Iloilo for a little bit because you're gonna go visit some friends, or you're gonna go do something. Well, she probably won't believe you're gonna go visit a friend. She'll probably think you're visiting a girl. But at the very least, just tell her you gotta go somewhere and then leave. Just leave the location and go to a different one. I think that's literally your best bet. Because as long as she knows where you live, she'll always pop up. She won't go home. The reason they don't go home, because your bed is a whole lot more comfortable than what they sleeping on, probably. And they probably share a room. And this is no disrespect whatsoever. Do not take this as a sign of disrespect. I'm just telling you how Philippine households are normally. Number one, if she's renting a bed space because she has a job or something, she's living in a one-room apartment where she has to share a bathroom with like 5 or 6 other girls. And that's it. If she's living at home with her parents, 9 times out of 10, there's probably 3 or 4 siblings, and then the father and Lola and all of these people living in one house. So she's probably sharing a bedroom with 4 other people, and probably sharing a bed with 3 of those 4 people. So at the end of the day, if she has a comfortable place to lay down, she has air conditioning, which I'm sure you have in your house. She may not have that in her own place. She's never going to go anywhere because she's comfortable. I don't have to fucking share anything with anybody. Except you, one person, as opposed to 5 or 10. That's why she's not leaving. So if you can't get rid of her, you got to be the one to leave. I know that sounds fucked up, but that's just the way of the world. Carlton Banks, man, what's good with you, bro? Appreciate you coming through. I'm slow on since that where in if that makes sense, you know, she can't just come upstairs or come anywhere where you are just because. You know, check in on that you further. So that way the guard will call up to you, say, sir, so it's here to see you. Or I would just put in the folders up. But JD says, don't go. You may try to bring, yes, never group of friends. Always done it to Babylon. Okay, good. Hey, man, congratulations, bro. You went through the interview process. You're good. Steve, I saw the ransom fund, bro. I saw the ransom fund, man. Thank you. Has been free. mentality. Raymond says that Oahu says, common misconception all foreigners will give you a beautiful child. Have you seen the half Korean babies? Yo, Oahu dude, you are tell you the story. I was like a video. And I held I was watching this Korean pop show shit, and I was like, man, these girls are good. These guys are just the know-all. And dude, do you want that? And I said, I was talking to my girl the other day. Before a Filipina chooses to sleep with one of these guys, what they need to do is see the before and after picture before they start making judgments, thinking that their babies are going to look like these guys. Because at the end of the day, there's a high percentage chance that baby gonna look ugly. And that's because what's underneath all of that plastic surgery isn't what you actually believe it to be. So, yeah, I often talk about it behind the scenes. But 9 times out of 10, I do believe that sometimes them kids gonna come out ugly as hell, simply because you think that they look like the plastic surgery version that you see on TV, or that you see this, that, and the other. Doesn't quite work that way. Maurice Brown, correct common misconception. They think that we are all rich, gullible, and sex crazy. There you go. That's the third one. Gullible, rich, and sex crazy. Shout out to the homie Carlton Banks, man. Much love to you, bro. He says, the Observer says, poor people always come with negative thoughts to evaluate their own insecurities. They do not like us. There you go. Casey, the Snapchat filters. That's what they're called. I know I'm slow in the chat, guys. Carlton, man, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. The Observer says Manila is a cool place to stay. It's not that bad. I like Pasai too. Pasai is good. Pasai, Edsa, in those areas. Peanut Woman won. Carlton, you super chatted to tell me that shit. You're probably not wrong, man. You're probably not wrong. Rayman says, aren't Peanut Women locals too? They're all locals, I think. Rayman says, which locals are... I don't know what y'all talking about. I lost track. I'm sorry, guys. My man Sentai 7 says, I'm thankful for the name. I live my life in the Philippines on a boat. I am in love with my girl, but you get more girls in bikinis on your boat. So at least you get to sightsee. It ain't a problem. You just sightseeing. I mean, it's part of the boat. You know, it's part of the job. So, yeah, can't nobody get mad at you. My man Raymond says Samara and Leite are where the majority of bar girls and Angeles are from. So if you catch them before they make it to the AC, then you might be in a good position. That's the best way for me to put it, if that makes sense. If you catch them before then, you might be able to, make it happen. Oahu says a lot of provincial girls are not as educated and can't speak English as well. Better off hanging around all the colleges like in Davao. Yeah, true that. It depends on how you deem necessary. I mean, but at the end of the day, it does depend on what you're looking for. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it does depend on what you're looking for. Every guy is looking for something different. I have never met 2 guys looking for the same types of qualities in Filipinas ever. They've had similar stereotypical assets that they like about Filipinas, but as far as how they detail what they're looking for in women, nobody is the same at all. Nobody is the same at all. Kim Jong. I will always suggest Davao as a first trip. I always will, but I think people get tired of me talking about Davao, man. So I'm gonna give Davao a break for a little bit. Y'all know how I feel about Davao, man. You don't even have to say the word, and I'm already excited. You don't even have to tell me twice. That's my shit. mm. What's good, Smooth Riffs? I see you in the building, man. I'm just trying to get through these chats, guys. I'm sorry. I'm tripping. Wahoo says Davao is a good choice for your first time, but I would recommend you have somebody that can show you around. Yes, Davao can be extremely boring. Davao can be boring as hell if you don't know what to do. Okay? That's what I will say. That's why I say Manila has a lot more to do, if that makes sense. That's why I choose to tell you places like Cebu and Manila, even though they're heavily congested, they give you the feel for what life is like in the Philippines, in the city areas. I mean, you can always change locations, so you'll never be too stuck in one place. Hold on. All right. Shout out to the homie Terry Edwards. I see you, man. He says you have to understand that the average salary in the Philippines is like $10.50 American money for 8 hours of work. Yes, it sucks. Sucks so bad. Marie says changing locations won't help unless you leave that area. The grapevine is so strong, soon she'll find you. You're fucked, pretty much. I mean, you gotta leave. You do. You have to leave. You just have to leave. There's no ifs, ands, or asses about it. No getting around it. The Observer says, so I get jealous and envy of impressed people. So I get the jealousy and envy of oppressed people. I'm not. I mean, bro, we can't shape the perception of others. It happens, but we just have to accept it for what it is. My man says you gotta have a strong pen pan so they won't show up without an invitation. I feel you on that one. Yeah, I felt like my internet was breaking up, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell going on with this thing. Maurice, you tripping, bro? Am I good now? Because I know my internet. I'm sorry, my internet was acting janky as fuck. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. I hope it's good. But yeah, are you telling me I got 29 people watching and only 3 likes, man? That gotta be a shameful guy. I'm over here giving you guys my best work, and y'all over here telling me I only got 3 likes out of 29 people. I got 24 people watching. I only got 3 likes, man. Don't do the doc like that. Come on, man. Don't do me like that. Yo, y'all go ahead and get these likes up, man. I need these likes up for sure. I hope my internet is getting better, man. Korean is a hot spot for plastic surgery. Rayman says the guy that married a supermodel-looking Chinese woman but did not realize she had a lot of plastic surgery. He wondered why their kids came out ugly, but later found out her real face before surgery. Exactly. Realize what she looks like before the surgery. Okay? Realize what she looks like before the surgery. Please. Please. Ladies, realize what these guys look like before the surgery, okay? They can't tell me nothing about Davao City, man. You can't tell me nothing about Davao City, okay? Nothing, as in nada. That's my shit. Can't nobody tell me anything about Davao. I'm sorry. That's my lifestyle. That's where I live. So I'm gonna always call it home. Nothing I can do about that. Ain't nothing nobody can do about it. Oh, we got 20 likes, man. I said there are 24 people watching and 19 likes. Okay. So the likes are not bad. Okay. Thank you. For the update. Carlton Banks, you said, have I seen other Southeast Asian countries? I lived in Japan. I don't think that's Southeast Asia, but I did live in Japan as a child for about 2 years. I've been meaning to get back to Japan as an adult to see what it's like. And yes, I do have plans to see other areas in Asia. I know I want to try Korea. I definitely want to try Malaysia and Singapore. I want to hit up certain areas that I believe will be beneficial to helping me grow as an individual. So I think Japan, I definitely want to get back to, and also, yeah, Japan and Korea probably. But if I had to go to a Southeast Asia place, I would probably try Vietnam. I think that sounds like an awesome place to go. Just got to pick up on the language enough to fucking get the language barrier down. But we shall see. But yes, I do have plans to go to other areas in Southeast Asia. Always been a plan. I just feel the Philippines is more comfortable right now. Not that I'm opposed to getting outside of the comfort zone, but ultimately I want to film as much as I can around here for you guys before I take my ventures to the international waters or into the next level of other parts of Southeast Asia. Rain Man, are you saying that? Rain Man, are you telling me that in your HT Logistics voice? Don't be talking about my city, bro. Shout out to the homie Big Brother, man. I missed that one. I'm sorry. Casey says, always get someone that knows the area. You don't want to be wandering around areas you don't know. Exactly. If you can find somebody that can show you around, you can go anywhere you want to. I've known people to go to Zamboanga and South Cotabato and places that I would never set foot in. But they had somebody who was able to show them into the city, somebody who was able to show them around, and they were actually having a good time. Do I believe they were really having a good time? I don't think so. They just went there because there's not much to see there. But they went to like, what, Lake Cebu? And that's Lake Sebu, Cebu or some shit like that. So they had fun there, I guess. But I'm not one to do it, man. Yes, always travel with somebody you can trust, man, for sure. A local that you can trust, man. I feel you on that one. My man Carlton says, I'm sorry, let me drop you like using this marker to say how far behind you are. Oh, Doc is fucked. Yeah, man, Doc's way behind, man. I'm catching up though. Big Brother says, Mike, looks like there is a bubble in the foreigners vlogging from the Philippines. Way too many channels popping up these days. It is, man. A lot of people will tell you it's a saturated market, man. I mean, at the end of the day, the only way that you're going to separate yourself from anybody else, honestly, is by the content you choose to put out. That's all. That's the only way you're going to separate yourself from other Philippine bloggers. The content you choose to put out. Ren has his boat. You know, he has a business here. He's able to talk about having a business in the Philippines. That is a niche that he could really expand on if he chooses to. You feel me? So at the end of the day, it's like you have to find a way to separate yourself from everybody else in the blogging community. There are a lot of people who have basically conformed themselves to a type or format to their videos. And that's not a bad thing, but ultimately, if you don't change or if you don't fucking switch up your content or do something different, it's going to become monotonous. It's going to be the same shit every single day. I try my best to come up with different topics in reference to the Philippines or different ways of viewing certain aspects to the Philippines. That's how I'm able to separate myself from everybody else. It doesn't necessarily make me a better YouTuber. It just means that that's what keeps me going. Finding different topics to talk about, finding different reasons or different ways to navigate the country, talking about things that I find to be interesting, talking about things that I think the audience would find to be interesting, answering questions and things like that. These are the things that separate the saturated bloggers who just, okay, let me film this area. Okay, let me just do this. Look at this area. Ooh, nice area. Okay, next video. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to you about what I feel about certain things in the Philippines, what I've learned through my experiences in the Philippines. Share with you guys where I stay. Show you guys things that I've, gone through and lived through. Went to my college. I went to all of my other places. I want to be able to show you guys that shit because I feel like that is going to give you an insight to what my life was like. So again, everybody's way of filming or putting out content in reference to the Philippines has to be different and it has to be unique. But yeah, you're right though. There are a lot of pop-ups nowadays and a lot of people are doing a whole lot better than me. There's a lot of people doing a whole lot better than me. But at the end of the day, it does come with a cosign too. And most of that stuff comes with a cosign. If you link yourself to a popular YouTuber, you're going to do well. There's no ifs, ands, or ands about it. Carlton, show me some pictures, man. Samal's awesome, man. You got to show me where you went to. Raymond says you got to taste the women from all those places. Raymond, I feel you, brother. I feel you. Earl says go to Singapore. You will like Singapore. I love it. Okay, definitely thinking about that. Carlton says Vietnam is blowing up right now. Cambodia is not blowing up, though, surprisingly. Cambodia is still a relatively, it's a vlogged area, but not as much as Thailand or the Philippines or probably what Vietnam is becoming now. Raymond says Vietnamese women are fine, at least the ones I've seen in Southern California. Pedro, don't be jinxing me on my internet, bro. Stop asking me questions about my internet. Guys, I see we got 23 watching. I appreciate all 23 of you guys coming through and showing love to the good doc. Make sure you get the likes up on the video. Make sure you caress, molest, and de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, it most definitely has to have it. All right? And I promise you it will not press charges. For those looking to support the channel, for those looking to give the good doc a chance towards the camera fund, by all means, please feel free to do so if you want to, but of course the good doc is happy that you come through, spend just a little bit of your time with him today. Now then, let's go ahead and get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Doc is in the building. We're going to go ahead and get through these chats as quick as humanly possible, man. I'm going. Oahudu says, I had a hard time dating in Vietnam. I guess the women are not as desperate. Some of these women in Southeast Asia are not. I've told you before, interracial or multicultural dating, not quite common in every area. Vietnam, Cambodia, and things like that, I don't think that you'll find places where interracial or multicultural dating is common in those particular areas, for sure. So I don't really think it's going to be easy for us to date in those areas, I admit. Oahudu says, Doc, the main reason you will like Vietnam is the price because you're so frugal, hard to spend money there. Like I said, man, there's got to be a compromise somewhere. And if I can live with the money price, I'll make it work. I'll make it happen. My man Casey says, a lot of Philippines vloggers are drunk and womanizing in most videos they post, and that shit gets tiring. I wish it did get tiring, but it doesn't, man. These guys, these thirsty motherfuckers, they just love these videos, man. They love watching these guys drink. They love watching these guys rub up on beautiful women or women that are perceived to be beautiful, women that are perceived to be easy. To be honest with you, I find it hard to get, let me see. Depending on the type of girl that you're talking to, I would find it difficult to get a girl to be on camera because they don't want to expose themselves in such a way. So for them to get them on camera, how they get them on camera, I don't know. If you pay them to do so, whatever it may be. But if they are seen in these YouTube videos by somebody they know, that ruins the Filipinos' reputation. You're with this guy sucks, or this guy is this, or this guy is that. You understand? So to be seen with such a person, per se, is a bad look for them in their own community. Not necessarily on YouTube. Maybe the girls feel like none of the people they know will ever watch this person's YouTube, or maybe they don't know that they're going to be put on YouTube. Sometimes if you tell a girl you're just doing a video diary for yourself, you know, it just it makes things interesting, per se, on how, you know, these women are exposed in certain YouTubers' videos. You know, you just gotta do your thing. I don't know, man. It's just a hard thing to deal with, but you say it gets tiring, but there's always going to be a group of people interested in seeing that stuff. No doubt. My man Maurice says, yep, I like Vietnam, just skeptical of North Vietnamese nationals. I've never been, so I can't tell you what to think about either one of them. In Saigon, you spent $660 for the month, and I wasn't holding back. That's cheap as hell, bro. Shout out to my boy MDSE, man. Oahu says, when in the Philippines, do you put sunscreen on your head? I don't spend a lot of time outside, but when I am in the Philippines, I wear a hat. I normally wear a hat. Matter of fact, I got to get me a hat so that I can, bring it with me to the Philippines. I got to buy me a new hat. But no, I don't put sunscreen on my head. MD, you can't be at Walmart and listening to the show at the exact same time. You're not going to be able to figure out what the good doc's doing, man. All right. It has been fun, ladies and gentlemen. It has been real. But I think I'm going to go ahead and close it out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go ahead and let it be known. All right. Let me get my shout-outs real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave. If you guys have any final comments, concerns, or things you want to talk about, by all means, leave it down in the chat section below. Eddie says that he thinks BGC is the best place to stay in Manila. Makati is a close second. Yeah, BGC is by far the first. I think Rockwell. Is that in Makati? I think Rockwell's in Makati. That's also a good place to stay, but that's a really non-vlogging area. They do not allow cameras out in that area. Pedro, July, my bruh. July, next month, bruh. Doc's gonna be in the Philippines next month. You guys have a good one. I'm gonna go ahead and shout my people out. Leave your stuff down at the bottom. Shout out to my man Earl, Rain Man, Mr. Sci-Fi George, my man Pedro, my man Super Coca Gin. Thank you, my boy Eddie Jackson, Rain Man, Big Brother, MD. Much love to you guys. Maurice Brown, Casey Hunnett, my man Earl Owens, all the way from Tacoma, Washington. Appreciate you coming through. My man Carlton Banks. Big salute to you, my brother, and I'm glad that the interview went well with you and went well for you. Let me get the rest of these guys out the way, and I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the bottom. Who else we got? The Observer, I see you, family. My man Terry Edwards, was good with you playing. Sentai 7, man, Ren, good to see you in the building, man. Thank you for stopping by. Smooth Riffs, I see you. My man Kim Jong Barack. Boy, you got the best name on YouTube, no doubt. I love that name. Carlton, man, thanks for the $2 donation, man. I appreciate that one. I truly, truly do, man. Thank you. My man JD Orca. JD, man, hit me up, bro. You got my information, man. Let me know where you're going to be at, and we'll try to figure it out. Maurice Brown, I appreciate you, man. Thank you guys coming through. Steve, man, thank you for the donation to the Ransom Fund. Good Doc is finally back. I missed John Doe's comment. I'm sorry, but he's probably right. If you stop paying for her to do stuff, she'll probably leave. I am mad that I missed that comment. Who else we got? AJ, man, what's good with you, man? That was actually a pretty good answer. If you stop paying for her to do stuff, she'll probably just end up leaving. At least you hope so. At least you hope so. She likely will, though. Corey McDuffie, man, what's good with you? My man Justin Roach, thank you. CJ was good with you. I'm going to get all you guys. I'm sorry. If I miss your name, leave it down at the bottom. My man Swift30SF, thank you for coming through. Jason Harris, man, thank you guys for showing up. My man Channel 19, I see you playing. Thank you. My man Derek Floyd, appreciate you. Hank, I see you. Michael V, my man NY Mets fan. Rain Man, my boy Derek Floyd. Kyle Winston in the building. Jeffrey G, my man Reginald Graham, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys. Dave, I hope that I came through loud and clear towards the end. I hope that you were able to hear me. And I think we are good to go. Thank you. Now I can scroll back to the bottom of this shit. Damn, got a headache. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming through and spending time with the good doc. I may or may not be on tomorrow. It just depends. If you guys have any topics of suggestions that you want to use for a live stream, I am open to hearing your guys' suggestions. I am definitely interested to hear what you guys are interested in hearing about. All right? All right, Pedro, you said August? All right, brother, just let me know. Anyways, guys, that is the show, ladies and gentlemen. Final thoughts. There is no final thoughts on the show. That was an open live stream. I just sincerely hope that you guys have a blessed one. Wherever you guys are in the world today, thank you. Maraming salamat sa lahat for everybody coming through and showing love to the good doc. You could have been anywhere in the world tonight, but you chose to spend just a little bit of time with me. And I am appreciative of that. I wouldn't want to be anywhere in the world right now but where I am right now. All right? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Let me make sure that I didn't forget anybody. I'm sorry, guys. Let me scroll down to the bottom. I got to make sure I didn't forget anybody in the chat. Make sure everybody's good. Bet. Peace to you guys. Much love to you guys. It's sincerely been a good one. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow. If not, you'll catch me someday in the next week. All right? So with that being said, the good doc is officially out. At least nako. Paalam, which means we're going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Mga kita. Mabuhay. Peace.